Hi everyone, welcome to this series. We don't have a title for it yet, but if we reference the first series, which we're going to do in this video, the Stem to Stern, the USS Little Rock's Archaeological Trek. This space will be referencing episode 3, so we hope that you can check back or watch that video again. We were one down below on the second platform in the air conditioning machinery spaces. And now we've come up to the first platform, which was the NCO space for the Marines and Supply 5. All right, you can see we're doing some work. We'd like to bring this berthing back a little bit. But we are going to lead you, now showing the plates welded over for the hoists for Mount 51, Mount 52, and Mount 53. And we'll be moving up from the first platform, third deck, second deck. And Lucas will take you on that path.
Right, so as Shane said, we are on the first platform, but we are also directly above the former 5-inch handling spaces for all 3 forward guns. So this is the only place that has all 6 ammunition hoists in a row. We can see there's 2 here for the starboard guns. Over here, directly above me, is 1 hoist for the center gun, but then offset a little bit, the other hoist for the center gun is farther back, almost right up against this bulkhead.
So you can see the larger weld with almost like a frame around it, and then you have that little lip that goes right to the overhead, and then you just have that traditional smaller weld right there. But it starts where that larger lip is, right?
Yes.
So these are offset they look to be 5 feet offset. What are some of those theories that you have about that?
I mean, there could be any number of reasons.
There could be.
One thing could be there's a piece of equipment that's maybe not more important, but can't be anywhere else. I mean, we have stairs right here. So as you come down the stairs, you immediately turn into the column for the hoist. So maybe they just didn't want 2 parallel hoists next to each other. It could have blocked the berthing spaces. But it could also be something further up too. Mm-hmm. We just have to go up there later and maybe we can have an answer.
Yeah, it's a 3-dimensional puzzle, right? It's not just in this space, it can be elsewhere, but they have to adjust it all the way down. So you saw the starboard side, you saw the center. Tell us where the port side hoists are.
Yeah, it's a little different over here. This is the right gun for this is the right hoist for the right gun. And then the left hoist for the left gun is on the other side of this wall. And it's kind of difficult to see, so we're just going to show a picture of it right now. But these port and starboard ones are another thing that makes them different from the center gun, is that they both have to go very far back into the ship because those turrets are set, what did we say, 50 feet back from the center gun?
Roughly 50 feet.
So now we need to go up to the third deck to see that kind of shift. So now that we're on the third deck, it's immediately obvious that the hoists are starting to shift around. I am standing on right about where the hoists pass through the third deck, and above me, the hoists have sort of shifted forward, maybe a foot or a foot and a half, and now it's above this hatch that leads down into the marine space. The other hoist has even more of a shift because it passes through this bulkhead while also going through the overhead. But These changes are very subtle compared to what Shane's about to show you.
So I'm going to show the port side mount, the forward twin 5-inch on port side. Unfortunately, for the right side mount, it's behind our Mardet display, so we don't want to disturb that. But if we come through here, these changes are not so subtle. As we showed you in Marine NCO Supply 5, those hoists coming through the third deck are roughly at about frame 57. What we'll see here is that now they are coming through at about frame 56. And so that is a distance of about 40 feet or so. So let's check that out. So again, we showed you the photograph, the still photograph of the left gun, and we showed you in the overhead on this first platform the right hoist. So now we can see here is the right hoist coming through here, and you'll see again the weld, and it has that angled view to it. And then coming into this space here, again angled towards the bow, is the left gun for the port side 5-inch twin. But we're not done yet. We are now going to go up to second deck, and now we'll be able to show you the starboard side hoists coming through the deck and the overheads. So let's head up.
So Shane showed you the port side turrets, or the port side hoists, down on the third deck. But now that we've moved up to the second deck, the port side hoist got covered by insulation. But here on the starboard side, we can see it pretty well in this officer's stateroom. Here on the bulkhead, there's a weld, a very tall and narrow weld, where the hoist came through the bulkhead, and then corresponding welds in the overhead for the hoist to go up into the upper handling room. And this is where we also see something kind of different. So also in the overhead is this strange teardrop shaped weld. And there's a second one right here on the other side of this beam. Then forward of that strange weld is the second ammunition hoist. So, since this leads up into the handling room, things get a little different. And now Shane is going to take you up to the main deck to show you what's going on here.
So I'm going to correct Lucas just a little bit. All right, we're still on the second deck. And this is kind of the area that spurned this whole video. So we started off on the first platform in Marine NCO, Supply 5, berthing, showing you the hoists, bringing you up from the to Mardet, up to the stateroom here on port, the other space on port and starboard, and now we are leading again into what is now, post-1960, our one Mount 51. And we're going to talk a little bit about these. So imagine you have the beautiful brass casing, gunpowder casings. Well, they are sent up by this canister. And it catches into the upper handling room. They open it up, they take out the beautiful brass 25, 30 pound gunpowder casing, and then that gets sent up into the mount itself. Well, you're not going to want to keep all of these lying around. So, what do? You'll see this nice little access door here. This door is open, and it just gets shoved right down here back down to the second deck. If we take a look just over here, here's another access point. So while the guns were firing, the brass casings are getting put on the deck, the main deck, being after expelled from the mounts themselves, but the canisters that they come in are now getting dispersed on this floor. All right, and there's a nice video with the Battleship Cove and the USS Massachusetts where they're talking about this as well. So support USS Massachusetts and Battleship Cove, and we'll link some information in our description for them. So this is kind of the culmination of starting down in the air conditioning machinery spaces, coming up to NCO, coming up to Mardet, coming up to those two staterooms that we showed you in the spaces on port and starboard, and now with the access hatch right here for the canisters that the gunpowder casings would come in. So we hope you like this this archaeological tour of the USS Little Rock, and we reference our first series, the Stem to Stern series, earlier in this video. So please, if you haven't checked out episodes 1 through 6, or if you've missed one, please watch those. Thank you again for all of your support, and we'll see you again soon.